I do remember way back when, in 2000, when I was a cave guide here, coming into work, and a visitor was very excited because all over the park entrance sign there were chickens. And we were like, chickens over the entrance sign? Well, come to find out they were turkeys. But he thought there were chickens all over the entrance sign, so I was wondering where the chickens had roamed from.
Well, with 500,000 visitors every year, the maintenance on the park and the upkeep, you have to keep it maintained. So you've got some projects coming up as we speak here.
We do. We're currently in the middle of our Green River Ferry project. That is a project that is going to extend the ramps that go down to our ferry. Our Green River Ferry is a boat that takes cars back and forth across the Green River. And during times of extremely low water, that boat can't operate. So that becomes impassable for vehicles.
So that's been an issue for a little while.
It has.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is going to help that area out where our boat will now be able to operate when the water gets low and will keep us from having to shut down. So we're in the middle of that project. We have another project that's getting ready to start later this fall, and it's working on one of our cave trails. The Grand Avenue Trail, we call it the Grand Avenue section. It runs from the Snowball Room to the Grand Central Station Room. It's about a 2-mile section of cave, and it'll be closed for around a period of 18 months.
Wow.
In order to redo the surface and that trail. It's currently a little uneven. The handrails are not the best. The stairs are not the greatest either. So this is going to be completely redo this section of trail. It's going to make it a much better experience for our visitors that go on those tours through that section. But it's a big project. You know, doing maintenance underground is not that easy.
It's not the same as above
how do you
ground,
get
right.
the
Right.
supplies and equipment? So we've had to coordinate that. We're trying to time it the best we can to not disrupt visitors as much as we can.
Because you're year-round.
We're
right?
year-round, yeah.
Yes.
People come year-round, and it's, winter does slow down a little bit, so that's why we're trying to focus most of the work on those off seasons in those areas, so we can keep the cave open as much as possible.
And then, of course, when visitors come here, they can stay in cabins, they can camp. But what you were talking about is a lot of the cabins that exist, they're smaller. So if
Yes.
you want to bring your extended family, you have to get 2 cabins, but that's going to change?
Yes, so we've got several concessions improvement projects to work on our facilities that we have here, such as this lodge where the restaurant is and where the main lobby is and a lot of the retail. We've got a project to improve the roof here and change the facade of the overall building, which is a needed improvement. It's been here since the 1960s. They've had some work done on it, but this is going to be a really great project to update it and make it a little more modern for the park. And then these cabins, like you said, most of them are these cute little cabins. They were built in the 1930s or the 1940s.
Very charming.
They're very charming. They're very historic. One said our woodland cabins do not have any air. No
air
heating, no air. So it's kind of limited to when people are most comfortable to be there. So we've got a project moving forward that we are going to add heating and air, insulate them, so they can be more year-round. But in doing that, we also have to keep that historic character. We don't want to change the look of those buildings because they are historic. They're a resource we like to keep just because they maintain the history here in the park. And then, as you were speaking of, these larger cabins. So most of these areas are very small. If you have a family over 4, typically there's no place for you to stay in the park where you don't have to get multiple rooms that aren't adjoining. So we have another project to install family cabins.
Oh, sweet.
Which can house anywhere from 8 to 10 people and allow larger groups. Because we find, there are larger families now, but also more extended families. You're bringing grandma and grandpa with you when you go on a trip, or extended 2 sets of cousins groups will come together. So this will hopefully give more flexibility for people that want to stay here.
You talked about 500,000 people coming from all over the world each year, but a lot of the locals who haven't been here, shame on them, right?
Well, it happens. I don't know how many times I'll tell someone where I work and they're like, oh, I went there as a child, but I haven't been back. So I always say, well, come back. You're missing out. Come see more.
Changed.
It has. So we hope people around, locals can take advantage of this too. You've got a great national park right in your backyard, and we'd love to have them come up and see us again.
Well, thank you for sharing that.